when we were making Taare Zameen Par, uh, in most of the testing that we did, the first test screening was very bad. But after we corrected the edit and all of that, and we got a pretty decent response. But there was one thing that was still coming back to me, which did not make sense to me. You know, in the discussions after the screening, a lot of the audience would say that, so basically what you're trying to say, you all have seen Taare Zameen Par? So there's a tulip school where I teach, and then there is this other school where I come to just as a temporary teacher, where Ishan studies. That's the temporary school I come to teach art. But the real school I'm teaching is a place which is called Tulips, and which has got a lot of kids who have a lot of challenges. Cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, many complications. So a lot of the audience would feel that what I'm trying to say, or what the film is trying to say, is that someone like Ishan needs to be in a special school. Now, that was so odd, because my film was trying to say exactly the opposite. It was trying to say that we don't need special schools. Regular schools are fine. And there'll be different kids in the regular school. You have to pay a little more attention to them and they'll be better off. तो हम जो बोलना चाह रहे थे उसका उल्टा रिसीव हो रहा था.
Okay.
Despite the fact that there are entire scenes in which there are dialogues where my character is talking to the principal and explaining to the principal that, see, this is his problem. All he needs is this, blah, 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 blah. So my character tells the principal that we don't need special schools. All schools should be inclusive. फिर भी लोग बोल रहे हैं, the audience is coming back to us with the same thought. And I'm like, why is this happening? Our communication is so clear. We are saying it in words. Then why is something else being read? And then I realized what was happening. In the title track, Dekho inhe ye os ki boondein, that sequence is the sequence where Nikum is watching the annual day celebration happening at Tulip School. And those kids are performing, their parents are moved, and it's a very moving moment where we see these kids performing, and then the parents go rushing and they hug their children, who are performing. And Nikum has tears in his eyes as he's watching this. And the last shot I had of this sequence was a close-up of Nikum, tight close, he's got tears in his eyes, and he's watching this warm moment play out. And from Nikum's face, I was dissolving to Ishan's close-up. And Ishan is in school, and his parents haven't come because his brother has a tennis match. So this weekend, all the other parents have come, but his parents haven't come. He's all alone in school. He's missing them. And then we cut to the tennis match. कि वहाँ tennis उसका भाई खेल रहा है, and his brother is also losing, and his father is getting upset and all of that. So this was a sequence of events. Tulip School, my close-up, dissolved to Ishan's close-up, dissolved to Ishan missing his parents, cut to tennis match. A friend of mine, Amin, his name is Amin Haji, he was sitting with me in the edit, and I was discussing this problem with him, and he said, this close-up is the problem. ये जो तू तेरे फेस से ईशान के फेस पे जो डिसॉल्व मार रहा है ना, उससे मेरे को क्या फीलिंग आ रही है कि यू आर लुकिंग एट द ट्यूलिप स्कूल परफॉर्मेंस हैपनिंग एंड यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ ईशान, एंड यू फील के यार काश ईशान यहां होता तो. This is getting communicated. My purpose of that dissolve was quite different. I'm trying to tell an audience that actually Nikum sir also was dyslexic. So Nikum, his face dissolves into Ishan's face. They're actually the same person in terms of the challenges. One is just older. That's what I was trying to convey, which nobody got. I'm quite sure you all haven't got that, because that shot never remained also finally. So I said, how can that be? There's no connection in what you're saying. But being the kind of person I am, I like to try out things. Because, a lot of times your brain evaluates the situation and you decide कि नहीं ये सही है, ये गलत है. But I've realized, especially when you're editing, is that try it and see it. Because when you do it, only then you come to know actually whether it's working or not. So what I did is, from my face, instead of dissolving to Ishan's face, from my face, I cut straight to the tennis, not to Ishan. So there is absolutely no connection between me and Ishan now. I'm watching Tulip School program happening. Parents are emotional. I'm looking at them emotional. Cut to tennis, brother, not to Ishan. There we see that the brother is playing, not playing well, he's losing. And when you end that sequence, then you go to Ishan, that he's alone in school because these guys were playing tennis, so they have not come to meet. So I removed Ishan from me, put a tennis sequence in the middle.
So you conveyed that, you know, he's missing out and he
No,
could
I just tried it because I was trying to alter my communication.
Okay.
And from the time that I had made that one change, I never got this response. So what I'm trying to tell you an example is that, you know, in test screenings, you get a lot of information which you need to process. Most people who are audiences will not be able to tell you what the solution is. They'll tell you what the problem is. They'll tell you what they are feeling. They tell you what they are thinking or they are feeling. You have to figure out what is it that I can do which will alter how they are feeling. You know, it's a bit of a, it's not like a proper science.
Right.
It is, in a sense, a science, but
Comes with
it's
practice
something that you learn over time to understand what a reaction means. And often people feel that you need to alter it where the problem is.
But it might be something else.
Yeah. You know, like a very common thing is people say that, अरे यहाँ पे film जाके slow होती है. यहाँ पे film जाके slow होती है, problem यहाँ नहीं है. Problem उसके कहीं पहले है. तो उसका वजन आपको यहाँ feel हो रहा है. So you have to correct something else, not where the, you know. So you have to figure out how to understand how to change the communication so that it changes for an audience. So this is why testing really helps me. And from the first film that we did, Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak, we showed it to our friends and, you know, family and more people. So that kind of became a norm for me.
Okay.
For
to
me in the
testing.
industry, yeah.
Okay.
I think there is only one other company which does this, that's Barjatias. They show their film to a lot of people, and, you know, I just feel that before I open my film out to the entire audience, I'd like the opportunity to make mistakes, get it wrong, correct it, and then project it for entire audience. So जो गालियाँ आपको test screening में मिलती हैं, hopefully वो आपको theater में नहीं मिलेंगी, because you would have corrected it by then. So that's my, I mean, it's just my survival instinct which tells me better to test.
That's also a lot more productive than, you know, like the screenings which happen and then it's too late to do anything. So
I mean,
how much time do you leave between, you know, like doing this
we
final
start testing
cut?
after the first cut.
After the first cut.
Yeah, so when you finish the shoot, first cut, you start testing because post-production has yet to happen. You're still about 6 months away from release at the earliest.
Right.
And then if you find some major problems with it and you want to correct it, the 6 months can become 8 months.